Nu got the thing, my school. You know the stock to wire. You stock off, you lose man.
We go to the
they were, and there was a silly sort of system called trumps. Remember trumps?
No, come on.
Because you were allotted as a boy to do 3.5 times a day.
Yeah.
You were, so if you shifted more, you went like hell, trying to do the same as the man, which on many occasions you could, use the money. Because he's shifted his call very, very quick.
You don't climb watch, you know you don't climb watch, you.
I hope not. My wife will be watching. I am told where I am today. So, the more you can shift, the quicker you can shift, you're allowed, say, 3 days to do this amount. So if he shifted it, say, just over 2 days, then he'd have earned his money for this yardage. So it's, instead of just £11.20, he may have another, say, 9 or 10 or £12 over and above, like a bonus.
As bonus.
So the boys then would hang about on the payday, and you're watching your man now as he's had his wages.
Yeah.
So you're hanging about to make sure you're
Tell you
right. So he'd then give you
3 and 10 safety.
Oh no, a bit more now. So he would come to you because you've helped him earn more money. He would come to you and say, "There's 150. Thank you very much.
30 bob.
30 bob for
30 bob.
doing well." If you was really good, and you may get £2, but that's the maximum. So that'd be over and above, out of his wages, for your extra effort, say 6.30. So you've got to change from clean to dirty clothes. You've got to go down and get your lamp and all that. You grease your boots.
This inside, and you cut away the doors you can see in the lockers.
And your wages wouldn't start till 7 o'clock, no matter how much preparation you've done. And when you were down, your wages stopped at 2:30, whether you're up or not. You could be waiting in the queue to come up, and you may be there till 3 o'clock.
Your wages depending on you getting a call off.
No, but the basic wage started at 7 when you went down. It stopped at 2:30. Even if you were still underground at 3 o'clock, you hadn't come up.
Because you're still getting a call off.
No, I don't understand that bit.
Even though we weren't down the pit at 7 o'clock. So the lamp went 10 minutes before, otherwise you have stop lamp. A lot of the older guys that I used to work with used to be down the pit well before this, because it was the psyche of getting into the workplace to start earning money. Because if you had to get a call off by hand, you had to get in there.
Everybody walked in together. But the thing is, you walk out and they'd always got a guy call a no. They'd always have a guy call a floater,
Pullman.
and he'd be there to take place of anybody who was ill.
See, terminology, ready for pit to pit. Floater, Pullman. Market.
And if he was ill, you'd have to see which we call the fireman, the foreman. You say I'm ill, or if you'd an accident, as long as it was a walking accident, you still had 3 miles to walk uphill in places to get out, to get to the bottom of the pit, to come out. So,
if you couldn't walk?
Then that drum thing would come in, or you go on a stretcher.
Well, I took a gentleman down the pit one day, and he, no, I tell her, he was on top of the pit, and he was from Derbyshire. And the lady said, she said, my husband, he's ex-miner, He said, I become this old fella. Like, hey! And he looked at the guy, he said, what's this bloody water bottle for? He took one look at that, and he instantly thought it was a water bottle. I said, sorry. He said, a water bottle. He said, I don't need a water bottle to go down the pit for an hour. I said, when did you leave the mining industry then? And he said, he finished it about 1969, but obviously like yourself, I never come across him. And as far as he was concerned, that to him was a water bottle. We tell a lot of people it's an all-day breakfast, you know what I mean? Oh,
Okay.
I swear. You got the gob on now. This has been recorded.
I know that.
Why do you think that's shaped like that?
No, he's lying. But it's not like this.
Let's get it.
I'll tell you anyway.
Personally speaking,
Wrong most of the time.
personally speaking, you have your say that, Mike. Personally speaking,
If you want to do a number 2, and you put some coal on a shovel, and your guy's working away like that, you're going through the system behind him, then you get the shovel, and there was a conveyor belt there, and all so you go
the gob.
whoosh,
It's what's called a gob.
try to sling it over there. But the problem was, if it did hit a post or something like that, there's somebody has got to come down and work in that area.
Shit, we did the fan. Well done, love.
Yeah, that's a better term. So somebody in different shifts comes behind you and doing different jobs away from the
You
phone.
wouldn't believe it, guys.
So the poor bugger's coming down like that, and wall up. And my wife said to
Personally
me,
speaking-
she said, "Where did you wash your hands? It was the toilet."
Get it? You train yourself so you go before you go down.
Yeah,
But it's not always possible.
because a lot of them drinks to drink cider.
There were Monday morning. There were certain areas underground which everybody knew would be used as a latrine. It's like an old bar stop working.
We didn't have that. It was just where we
All
were.
depended with.
Horses and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's just not nobody, is it?
No,
Nobody
no
about
worries.
that. There were certain areas you knew you had to, if you wanted to go try and get it, but not always possible. But all you had to do is obviously try and find somewhere private. Take a shovel with you, as the gentleman said. Because if you couldn't chuck it, you bury it. Out of respect to your fellow workers, and of course vermin. You had vermin underground. And of course the other side, you can't. There's nowhere to wash your hands. No such thing as wet wipes in those days, or this antibacterial
Yeah.
side of do that.
Make sure and gentlemen, Mike spend the lectures together, we call it, whatever.
Just doing him talking only.
missing the ship place so much. So we enjoyed it. And I can remember my father bringing the clothes on 3 miners fortnights. This affects his own clothes on in the sack. My father used to stand his trousers up in the garden. And I mean stand them up in the garden. They were so thick with dirt, sweat, and then he ripped soles, he used to get up.
Well, look how it is there.